Hi guys! So today I'm going to tell you how I got an F4 visa.
And how I got my spousal visa.
So you can get an F4 visa if you were born in Korea or if your parents are born in Korea.
And then I got my spousal visa because my wife was getting an F4 visa, and so because I wasn't getting a job, I just piggybacked on hers.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the different processes as well as the different documents you need to obtain the visas.
Yeah, because if you don't have the right documents, you might have to come back a couple times, and if it's a drive for you, or if you're under time constraints, that can not be a good thing.
Exactly. So prior to us obtaining our visas, we were a little concerned about the different documents we needed. We contacted the Seattle Korean Embassy, and we called them different times. I know I called them at least 3 times.
I called them a couple times as well, and each time we called them, they told us something different, and the internet had something different on every single website you went to. So it was very confusing. It was very stressful. We didn't exactly know what we needed, but after compiling a bunch of different things together, we decided what we were going to take. We were pretty close.
Yes. So on the day that we got there, we were kind of confused, and we have some video that I'll post and show of what the office looked like. But it's very friendly and inviting. And in fact, we had an easy time filling out the visa application because we had help from an English speaker, and so that made it really simplified for us. And other than that, the only issue we ran into was a matter of not having the original certificate for one of the required documents.
Yeah, so for mine, I needed a marriage certificate to prove that we were married, so I could piggyback on her visa. Now, I brought a copy of our marriage certificate, and we actually needed the original. So
what other documents did you need?
So for mine, I needed to have my passport, a copy of the passport. I needed to have a passport-sized photo. I also needed to have, I think it was like $35, something around there. And then we also needed the original marriage certificate for my spousal visa. Now, we didn't have the original. The lady was very, very nice and allowed us to just set our paperwork aside in the office until we went home, got the paper, and sent it to them. So we went to the mail. We sent it to it like first class or something really quick. She got it and processed it right away, which was great. We got it back within a week.
So one more time, what did you need for the spousal visa? For all the documents?
So what I needed was my passport, the copy of my passport. I needed passport photo. I also needed some money. It was like $35, and also the marriage certificate original. Make sure you have the original, very important, or else you'll get turned away. And if you don't have someone as nice as we had, you might have to come back.
Right, but you also have the visa application too.
Yes, and the visa application.
Awesome. So for mine, for the F4 visa, it's a little bit more complicated. So the first thing that I needed was a passport. The other thing that we thought was important is just to look at the date of when it expires. So it's best if you have a date that's going to expire soon to just go ahead and renew it so you don't have to worry about doing it abroad. So that's one recommendation. Current passport. The second thing I needed, just because of my job and also for different requirements for my job, I needed about 8 passport photos. So I would recommend going to Costco, and it was about $4 to $6 to get all 8, and it was really convenient. Okay, so the third thing after the passport photo is I needed to have the visa application done, and it's about 4 pages, and I'll post pictures of the application itself through the video. But if you don't know Hangul, that's okay. The lady there was able to help us, and it was not a problem at all. I can definitely assure you. The one thing that we did note was make sure you know where you're going, where your address is, in the location that you'll be in Korea. They needed the address as well as your phone number, office phone number, contact information in Korea, as well as your apartment. So you have to have your residence on the application.
Yeah, now this information is for an F4 visa and the spousal visa. If you're going over to teach and you can't get the F4 one because you're not Korean or your family wasn't Korean, then you'd have to get an E visa. and that one might require different stuff. We don't know.
Right.
So this is pertaining to the F4 visa.
So the next piece of documentation is, in my case, I was lucky enough to be able to reach out to the adoption agency in Korea where I was adopted from. So I was able to obtain my Korean adoption papers, which allowed me to leave from Korea and be adopted into the States. So that's the next thing that you need. Another requirement is, in this case, I would say it's not always required, but it definitely helped me obtain my F4 visa, was my family tree in Korea. And the family tree in Korea showed that I was not registered with my family, so therefore I was able to be on my own family tree, showing that I wasn't part of another existing family. Okay, so after you have the passport photos, the adoption certificate from Korea, your family tree if it's applicable, the next thing that I had was my adoption papers from the States. Now I was adopted twice, but I only provided my first set of adoption papers, and the reason why those are important is because if you have any name change, then that's really key. So when I was born, I had a Korean name, Jin Hee-koo, and then when I was adopted into the States, I had an American name, and the Jin Hee-koo was later dropped off, and so you'll need to have that differentiation of the name change. So after that, I would definitely recommend having your naturalization papers. So the U.S. naturalization papers allowing you to be adopted into the States. Having the original is really important as well, just to show that you are a U.S. citizen, and you need to have the original. Okay, now you have all those documents. The next thing is having the original marriage certificate and the visa application. And my fee was only $30 to $35, and the adoption and the Korean consulate only wanted cash. So that was definitely something you want to think of ahead. Just make sure you hit up an ATM before you go there.
Yep, cash is king.
Yes, exactly. So the other thing that might catch you off guard is, let's say you're on a time limit and you need these documents fast, or your visa taken care of fast. Well, they're going to ask you to hand over your passport, and you're going to feel very uneasy about it, but it is part of the process.
Super, super scary, especially because we were leaving just a couple weeks after that, and if there would have been a hiccup or a problem, we wouldn't have been able to go.
Yeah, so they were trying to take my passport, and I was like, no. But the reason why it's important is because we didn't know this at the time, but when we received our paperwork, your passport actually just has an insert in it, and so that's why it's required. It looks like a sticker with information on it, which is your passport.
Yep.
And so when we got Eric's visa, we were really, really startled because it was for only 90 days.
We were having, I believe, a little party at our house, and we got the visas, and Amanda came over and said, "Oh, we have a problem. It says only 90 days on there." And I'm like, "What?" And so I called up the embassy to see what was going on. They couldn't really understand what I was trying to say there. So then I went online and I looked, and I found a thing that pretty much said that it piggybacks off of the primary visa holder. So hers was for 2 years, mine was for 90 days. Once you get your ARC cards, your alien registration cards in Korea, the spousal visa is pretty much piggybacked onto the primary visa holder. So mine saying 90 days, that was just the standard tourist visa.
But the ARC card trumps the visa, and it states 2 years now. So you don't have to worry. It may seem unsettling if you're going into a country, you're moving there, and yet you go through immigration and it says 90 days. Don't worry, you can handle that at the immigration office. You'll just simply fill out some paperwork, and then you'll get your alien registration card in under 2 weeks, and then you'll be all set.
Yep.
So today we wanted to just go over how we were able to obtain our F4.
Yeah, just because we couldn't really find any good information out there for the F visas, and also we just wanted to, tell you about our experience with it.
Yeah, so in future videos, we're going to be talking more about content information, how we were able to bring Maddie, our Pomeranian, with us, different things about me reuniting with my family, and some of the culture differences that we've experienced kind of through the perspective of me being a Korean adoptee and Eric coming along. but also on some of the fun adventures, which I hope you've enjoyed looking at so far.
Yeah, we definitely want to give adventures and also give some knowledge as well.
Yeah.
So just make sure that you stay tuned, and if you like the content, please subscribe and hit that like button.
All right, bye.
Bye.